many allegations by the far left and the enemies of Israel that Israel is in violation of international law. They wave that high, and you've been over there. What's going on with that?
You don't have to go to Israel to understand international law, without regard to whether it's a leftist accusation or a rightist accusation. The fact is that those who misportray international law are doing a great injustice to international law itself and, of course, to the truth. In point of fact, as I explained in my presentation, international law in Israel and in the Middle East in general starts on March 24th, 1920 with the Treaty of San Remo, which became the Convention of San Remo, which was then adopted by some 56 countries into the League of Nations, and that was international law for decades until it was reincorporated into the UN Charter in Article 12, subsections 76 through 79. So actually Israel's got a right, the Jews have got a right to be on that land. There's been a sovereignty limbo in that land by choice, and the reason for that sovereignty limbo is because the Arabs have never wanted to establish their own sovereignty, not in 1920 at San Remo, not in 1937 with the Peel Commission, not in 1948 when the UN voted in 181 to establish side-by-side homelands and state, not when the Egyptians conquered Gaza in 1948, not when the Jordanians conquered the West Bank in 48. So they didn't do it after the ceasefire of 1967, after the ceasefire of the Yom Kippur War. They haven't done it yet. They still say no lines should be drawn. The problem with drawing lines is that you must then say someone's on the other side of that fence, and that would be a Jewish state. And so what we see is that this is a dispute not about miles but about meters, and that the real core of the problem is this is not a territorial dispute as much as a religious war, because if we can't figure out how to divvy up 50 feet, and it was Bill Clinton who said when he spoke to Arafat it came down to 50 feet. If we can't figure out after this many decades and this much violence how to divvy up 50 feet, it's something more than just land. It's about being able to live with your neighbors in peace and equality. I think that's possible, but it can never find fruition as long as we are financing the flames of an industry that's designed to keep alive the confrontation, public monies financing terrorism, tax-exempt monies financing confrontation.